So like even if you proved a point to him and like gave him every argument against what he said possible, he'd be like, yeah, but no, that's all right. No,
I mean, he already told me if I can get followers to a church, he won't stop me from erecting.
And he said he would raise all the other churches. Well, I might be...
No, he said he would get rid of the sham churches.
Yes, and he said that he does not believe that church necessarily serves a purpose.
Right, but he didn't call them all shams.
But he didn't specifically either say which ones were shams.
All right, well, we are back. So, Mal, you had a good question that you wanted to throw out there.
This Steve character can't argue with me, Steve.
Yeah, Mal's been pretty quiet for the last conversation. Like, it's clearly something that Ricotta and Cassius are very passionate on. And Mal has sort of just been going through, like, his own identity crisis with stuff lately. But at this point, I would kind of, like, chime in. My 2 cents on this situation, Sparrow, is that I've been in many situations in my life. For a very young age, I've been through pretty much all the extremes. I've been through being a business owner, I've been a slave, I've been tortured, I've been misguided by religion, as you say, but all of those things made me who I am. I am who I am because of these things. I would not have become anything if it wasn't for those things. They're not, and whether you understand them or not, they are important things to people. And they make people, and opportunity is the key thing that I'm hitting on here. Opportunity.
Oh, you half-orcs, you just go on for fucking ever. What is your fucking point? I understand that people don't respect you in the way that you want it, but Jesus Christ, can you just, like, I get that you're smart, now say it already.
I think he's justifying slavery. Let him go on.
So, tell me, with the dwarf rulership, the economy is in shambles, the relationships are terrible. My people have basically above, like, slavery jobs, but not really an equal place in this town. So if we help you overthrow, if we help you take over rulership of this town, how are you going to make things better?
Well,
because it sounds like we're just replacing one, like, greedy person with another.
My goal isn't greed, again. My goal is to take this from a town to a city. You see, there is no present city to the north, is there? If you look at your map, there are just towns up here. Large towns to some degree, but towns nonetheless. I believe that where we're situated, and with the secrets that our current mayor has, there is great access to potential. And it is my goal to utilize that by making more effective and more intelligent trade arrangements, utilizing our wealth and our resources to get at them. These secret resources that we know that Runa is hiding.
Okay, grow something into a city, that involves a massive change in organization of the town.
It does. And
so who's going to fill those positions? Your lackeys? Or are you going to have a fair system for picking?
I would rather my lackeys not be in a position to do that. My lackeys are best utilized in very specific roles within the system. At the top, you want somebody who's a populist candidate. Somebody who will be a person of the people, but also a person that will shut the people down when they make the decisions they shouldn't be. A demagogue. So it's important to have somebody who's a wild card, a maverick, if you will. Someone who believes that their ideas are their own ideas and will shout them from the rooftops and proclaim that they are brilliant, awesome, and the greatest thing that any person has ever made a decision about. I have the perfect set of candidates for that. I do not think they know that they are the perfect candidates, but they would not decline the opportunity if it presented itself. In fact, I would almost go to a point of saying that perhaps, instead of just one, they should work together. They are similar in mindset. They are interested in seeing this town develop into something greater. They have trade interests in this town. One of them is even actually a dwarf, believe it or not.
Wow.
He's not my first pick or my second pick, but he's a pick. And if he were sided by two others of different kind, I could agree with such an arrangement. I think it's much better than the existing system and much easier to move things in the direction that I would like to see them move. Because the more money that comes in to this town is the more money that goes into my pockets. And as far as your worry about religion, that you both seem so hell-bent and worried about, it has its place. Religion makes a very large amount of money in taxes. You wouldn't believe the amount of extravagant costs people are willing to pay for healing, especially the sham healing provided in the Temple of Shishat. If I could get away with charging that kind of rate for anything I offered, I would be drawn and quartered. But they can freely charge hundreds of gold for rudimentary healing. Whereas many people here struggle to sell fish. Fish are primary commodity.
One second.
Though if you have not had the salmon, I would recommend it.
Have I had the salmon here?
Probably once or twice. It's fresh.
Alright, I'll just nod along with.
So I'm curious, the spirit army, do you plan to keep it in place if you take over?
The spirit army has been here for many, many years. When the town was first erected, the spirit army are the people who believe highest in the town itself. Many of the residents wish not to pass on into the afterlife and instead wish to devote themselves to protecting the town. They go into action when the heir or heiress has proclaimed an order of, how was it put? It is an old word that it took me much time to discover the meaning of. But it is essentially that there is disorder. The mention in this language of disorder is enough to send the army into action. You're not sure what language she's talking about.
So if you take over this town, would you be opposed to getting it hallowed?
I would not be opposed to... I would be opposed to it being hallowed. I would not be opposed to it being ground which has neither hollow or unhollow. It is quite annoying at times that there are spirits where spirits shouldn't be, and that there is no way to protect yourself from those spirits.
So we get rid of the unhallowedness about the town.
Well,
and
you must be aware. You cannot remove the unhallowedness of the town hall. Otherwise, you will remove the spirits that protect the town hall. If you were to replace it with hollow. You would weaken the spirits if you were to replace it with hollow. Or with nothing. The spells that exist are largely about making sure these spirits have the greatest potential to protect the town.
And you can see the spirits.
I cannot see the spirits. I've read a lot of information about this. Books that were supposedly destroyed a long time ago. Does this work an explanation for you as to what my plan is? Can you come to a decision about whether you will work with or against me?
Have you spoken to Heracles about this?
Heracles has made himself willing to take a step back and let whatever will be. That is all I've asked, and he will.
He and I are one in this decision. Then
good.
Well, I don't speak for the rest of these people, so they must decide.
If you have a spirit army, what do you even need us for?
You could choose to stand in opposition, and based on what the rumors are, you are walking about town with powerful magics and powerful gear. Gear that could possibly oppose the army of spirits. So it is important that I know if you will defend the town, if you will stand down, or if you will be at our side.
What do you intend to do with the spirit army once the government is overthrown?
Well, if we have overthrown the leadership, the spirit army is very specific. We must define to it what is the problem. And once the problem is defined, it will work to eradicate that problem. And if we were simply to say dwarf, some of our allies would be killed. So we have no interest in slaying every dwarf that survives. Our interest is in eradicating the leadership. Thankfully, we have confirmed that seems plausible, seems very reasonable. We have confirmed that, thankfully, Heracles, as the Archmage, does not constitute leadership, as he has no authoritative roles over the country or over the town. It does mean potentially there will be the loss of some innocence, but I believe that anybody being willing to work directly for the mayor is probably not innocent.
Have you given them a chance to leave?
There will be time for them to leave. There will be time to them to throw down their allegiance, to deny their allegiance, and they will be spared. At least that is what the texts have told me.
What texts?
The texts that speak of the spirits.
They got a name, or?
I would not share that with you. It is a danger that you even know that they exist, let alone I give you their name.
What's so dangerous about some words?
You aware of conjuration?
I know of it.
It is an ability to summon forth things from near any location, as long as you know enough of the right details about it, or to locate things with pinpoint precision through use of divinatory magic. The more you know, the worse it is.
When Cassius asks, what's the harm in words, I kind of have like a sly smile on my mouth, and I just keep reading my book.
So real fast, back to our discussion of the unhallowed and hallowed state of the city will become. I contest, okay, you say that the town hall has to remain unhallowed for the spirits to work. I would ask then, if I succeed in making a true church to Sashat, that you allow me to make just the church be hallowed ground.
Fair.
Also, just for clarification, he said that the spirits would be weakened if it was hallowed ground.
True, but he said he didn't want it to be, so that the spirits wouldn't be weakened. And I'll whatever, that's fine. Let me have my church and have it be hallowed, and my vote is I will stand with you.
Having your hallowed church is that important? It's more important than the town itself?
I don't think in my opinion, what he's saying isn't doing anything worse to the town than what I have uncovered in my time checking it out that it already is. I don't, at this
Just to be
point
clear,
in
you guys
time,
are talking in character right now in front of him, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
At this point in time, I don't believe that what he's saying sounds worse than what I've witnessed.
Just asking. It was just the way you said it. But
those are just my conditions to agree, is that I want to ensure that he is allowing me to create my church just a shot and allowing me to make sure this church is hallowed, which basically ensures that it is a legitimate church because it's basically protected from evil by having hallowed ground. I just want to make sure that he's basically allowing me to have a legitimate church just a shot as like just covering our bases so that we don't end up back full circle to where it's a fake ass church being run by some dumbass gold again.
Speaking of a fake ass organization, what do you intend to do should somebody in the town disagree with the way it's being run?
I mean, the same order that I would expect for my methods, I would expect to be ready to defend against if others chose the same.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, to prevent people from...
Do you believe in the right of revolution?
I'm not necessarily opposed to it. I'm just asking,
then
what do you do? What are you going to do to prevent the townsfolk from... Let's say you decide that you want certain people in there, and then you have the majority controlling vote of this town.
Majority control isn't important because the right of revolution means that inevitably, if you fuck up hard enough, society itself will get you. Any person proud enough will inevitably fall. Maybe not them directly, but the structures they build will fall. And I believe that is what we are facing here. A society that has become so in love with itself that it cannot see the threat it has. It's lost entire sight of what the town itself is and what it was built on. So now is the time to strike. And if we ever let ourselves fall victim to the same plague, then we deserve what comes to us.
This is a lot more convincing argument than the one you were posing earlier.
That's because you're asking more direct questions and you're not trying to simply say you're racist and that's bad. I'm aware that the universe sees my ideology as bad. I believe that the gods have their hand in twisting that.
I'm just trying to make sure you're not too closed-minded to, take suggestions from other people.
Progress is important. Progress requires information and understanding and comprehension. You will not progress if you don't listen, if you don't process. I will not become more powerful if I ignore the words or opinions of other people. I need to hear them, I need to process them, and I need to figure out how to profit off of them fastest.
I will allow you to do this, but my conditions are very, very direct. If you do not offer the dwarves a chance to leave, I will defend them.
I will offer them the option to throw down their weapons and declare allegiance to whatever order ends up running the town.
It's been made very clear what is about to happen.
Well, I believe the army of spirits that will appear before them will make things quite clear.
So they will know about the spirits when you are making them this offer.
We will protest, we will make our demands known, and if the mayor refuses our demands to have her step down and allow a staggered election, we will make it known that we will take violent action. And that anyone choosing to may step aside now and allow the wrongful mayor of this town to be removed. At that point, we will bring the spirits to awareness, and as they begin their charge, we will inform each person that if they swear allegiance to the town, they will be unharmed by the spirits.
If it is that clear, then I am fine with this.
Excellent. And the rest of you? I already know I have your vote. He looks at you, Arabos.
I already expressed my terms. You agreed, so I am content.
Zeke is actually not here at the moment.
Is that, did he let us know why he wasn't here, or just...
He said he'll be out for a while.
Politics don't seem much to interest him. Unless it involves magic users, which I guess this does, probably, but...
There's 2 of you left. Where did you stand?
Was he looking at me, or...?
Both you and Spinks.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure who that you was directed at. Can't say I'm too happy about it, but it's less suspicious than what you've presented before.
Good.
And even if I did want to oppose it, can't say that doing it myself would be much of a... It would be plausible. So...
Good. And the last of you, the quiet one. Though I do notice you had quite a smile on your face when I spoke of the spirits. Almost as if you knew what I was speaking of. Why is that?
I just find the topic to be interesting. Mind if I ask how you're going to speak with these spirits that you say you can control?
Are you familiar with the old common? The ancient common?
I haven't picked that up.
There are words from long, long ago when the spirits were manufactured, when the spirits were manifested. Words that were unknown to many even in that time. Words that are claimed to predate this world itself. These are the words that bind the spirits here. The heiress will speak the words to the spirits. The spirits are set to listen. They are set to know that at this time the greatest threat to the town are the people that lead it, and they must be removed from power. With the words being spoken, the spirits will direct their attention to the leadership, and they will slay anyone who stands in the way of it.
Oh. Yeah, never mind. I figured I wouldn't know anything about Old Common. Or
Ancient Common.
Yeah, Ancient Common. But I figured I had ranks in linguistics, I might as well try.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
So
you're saying that you just kind of tell them what to do and they do...
The heiress must tell them what to do.
You got any more information on this heiress?
Again, no. That is dangerous, and I will repeat, divinatory and conjuration magic.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know the heiress and books were the same thing. My bad.
If you have specific details about anything, you can get more details about anything.
Just trying to make sure that it's not tied to any other endeavors that we were looking into at the moment.
Now, young lady, your position on this topic.
I will not stand in your way.
Excellent. Then I have all the answers I need. I look forward to not seeing any of you there. And he opens the door and heads out.
I don't like this. I don't like this at all.
Who wants to help me learn some ancient common?
Yeah, I'm actually not opposed to that. I'm very concerned about this heiress, especially if he's talking about developing the town to the north.
So sure, I mean, getting to Ancient Common is a pretty easy thing, right?
Yeah, you could do it at second level.
What?
Theoretically. Obviously, if you had access to it, theoretically you would be able to get to it at second level.
So you just need to know Infernal, Elven, Abyssal, Orc, Draconic, Goblin, Undercommon.
Yep. So if you do things like take traits that give you additional languages and are an elf, let's say, theoretically you could have access to
I don't know
ancient
what
Or
you're
just
talking
cast
about. All I
tongue.
need is like
Well, actually-
Infernal, Elven,
I'm-
Undercommon.
I'm assuming that comprehend languages would not comprehend ancient English.
It would comprehend it, and tongues
Oh, okay.
could theoretically make you sort of speak it, but tongues is about like how you're interacting with another person, so that other person has to have Ancient Common as their primary language. You would understand everything they're saying in Ancient Common, though.
Do I have any ghosts that can teach me ancient?
No.
Sphinx, how close is
God.
that circlet coming?
Yeah, so what about my ring?
By this point, your ring is finished. Actually, since it's only like 7 days worth of stuff, and a week has passed, which, by the way, is 10 days for those of you who are potentially forgetting, Sphinx will have had everything done that everybody is looking for.
Oh, I didn't.
Nice.
I didn't get to tell you the one thing I wanted to add to is.
No, go ahead. What do you... Go ahead and
Well-
just message it to me.
Okay.
Were you gonna try any of the spoopy ley line stuff?
Yeah. Did you want to make anything work faster or try to push extra magic into things?
Casting over lines is
I
always a
just
good
wanted to
idea.
write something into the ring.
Okay.
I meant for other stuff.
Other than that,
Okay.
oh frick! I had a wording for this. That was a week ago.
If my headband is for linguistics, I could literally learn Ancient Common.
I'm actually going to rule that you can't. So, your headband gives you a rank in linguistics. So it is essentially the same thing as like gaining the understanding of how the two languages work together. The way that linguistic skill works with regard to the tree is it gives you like an ability to link a set of languages to the concept of another language. It doesn't have like a stored language inside of it.
Oh, okay. So like I would still have to learn the language somehow.
Yeah.
I would
Getting
unlock-
to those languages still takes difficulty because you're kind of like dissecting like these components of this language equals like this thing. But if you were to then take off the headband later on, when you got to Ancient Common from that thing, you would actually lose whatever the highest level of the languages that are connected to it are.
Mhm.
So you would effectively lose Ancient Common if you were to take it off later on, if you learned it through the tree. Nice. What language are you putting it on there in? Or are you putting it in there in a way that is not perceivable? Oh, you were going to weave it into the arcane magic. Okay. Excellent.
Yeah. Just let everyone, if anyone like tried to detect magic on the ring, they
Okay.
would see it, then
Get right on that.
they would be warned.
Right, I want to detect magic now and see what it says.
Yeah, but
Well,
you
not
don't
to
know
meta,
it's there.
I would
I know,
detect
I wouldn't
magic
know
before
it's
putting
there.
this on to make sure she didn't fuck
Okay.
my shit up.
The spell that is there is correct. And give me a perception as you're looking at it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be specifically looking or expecting text or anything. So if it's like super hidden, I'm not looking for
That's
it.
technically enough to see it.
You curse my shit.
No.
What the?
That is etched in the arcane weave into the
Oh my
ring.
God.
And like the letters kind of glow out in like the arcane energy as you're looking at it.
I kind of chuckled to myself and put the ring on. Am I cursed?
You are not cursed.
Okay, good.
Damn.
I would have. I didn't say that, but I would have thanked her as she gave it to me. But I wouldn't have put it on.
Okay.
I would do that privately or
Right.
to detect magic on it. So.
Okay. So you guys all have your equipment at this point. And you guys have all agreed that you're not going to interfere with the actions that happen in the town. Is anybody going to go back on that word?
I didn't necessarily agree to that. but I said it would be foolish for me to do it on my own. Or something to that
Unless
effect.
I can learn Undercommon in a week.
You mean Ancient Common?
Ancient Common.
She was the wrong one.
I'm concerned because
I've learned Undercommon!
I would just confirm with Heracles, like, what his position is on this stuff, and if he's like, yeah, it's fine, and then I'm not gonna...
Yeah, Heracles will tell you, like, whatever becomes of it becomes of it. It is not my place to get involved, and it does not affect me.
I'm concerned about the heiress and its ties to the ancient evil magics in the north.
Well, let me put your mind at ease. It's not. It's not.
Oh, thanks, Steve.
Or is it?
Wink, when you said it the first time, I didn't believe you, but when you winked, that
or is
told
it?
Me.
I'm
Double
switching
the winking.
if I know when the rally thing is, I'm switching spells for that day.
Okay. Go for it. You do know when it is, because it's plastered on every poster.
Okay, yeah, the only thing I'm changing is my level 1 spell living.
He said that he was hoping to not see us there. Does that mean we can't watch?
You can be there. He's going to be a little bit nervous if you're suddenly there when most of you said, like, you weren't going to get involved.
Spinks, you don't know anything about the heiress, do you?
I just wanted to see if, like, we'd see the heiress, like, doing this. Because if there's someone else who can talk to ghostesses in a different way, but still talk to ghostesses, it's interesting to me.
Okay, that's fine. You can be there.
Also, I want to see the ghosts.
Well, you have seen the ghosts. You literally talked to them.
I want to see them again, okay?
Okay.
How far away is this coup from where we are currently?
From where you're at, so looking at the map, you guys are basically...
I meant like time-wise, sorry.
Oh, it's just a couple of days.
Okay. I'm assuming that Sphinx doesn't know anything about the heiress.
Mm-mm. She knows what the spirits are, but she does not know the heiress.
I'm going to try to, I guess... in the meantime, I'm going to try to commune with the Spear Mother about that, but probably to no avail.
Yeah, there'll be no response about that.
Or go to the Library of Sashat and see if I can replicate getting into that section that I was able to before.
You will not be able to here, because this is not a real Library of
Sashat. Yeah, damn it.
I just wanted to confirm real fast, when you get like when you up your Constitution modifier,
you gain a hit point per level for each point of for every 2 points of con you've increased.
So retroactively though, so
yes.
Does it work retroactively?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that it did.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Chicago.
I would just quickly ask Heracles if anyone else is doing anything. Heracles, if he plans on pledging his allegiance, like the guy said you'd have to the spirits. Or
I don't need to. I'm not leadership here. I am an advisor.
Oh, they're only going to ask the leadership? I thought they were...
I am an advisor. Anyone who is connected directly to the leadership.
Only they have to do it. Oh, okay.
Right. I operate as an advisor. My position is an at-will position. I am somewhat... chosen, but it would be a foolish endeavor for someone not to choose me, right? I am the best thing this town has. It would be stupid if they failed to realize that. I realized I wasn't shifting out of my sparrow voice. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, no, that sounds like Heracles now.
Very true, very true. You are a powerful, powerful mage.
Is there anything else? I've got stuff to get back to.
As do I.
Good.
Good day.
Bye. All right. So, those of you who are going to be in attendance, yes.
How long does it take to make items? Like, as far as like per enhancement modifiers.
It takes normally it takes 1 day for every 2,000 gold. In this case, it is going to take 1 day for every 4,000 gold.
Okay.
Or Sphinx can choose to speed it up even faster. If you're talking about magical modifiers, if you're talking about the crafting system, if you're talking about like regular crafting, then we can assume that you do what you need to over time.
No, because I was like curious about like magical bullets and stuff like that, because I was debating on. Let me see how much I even have.
Well, I'm going to jump ahead to what I want to jump ahead to while you debate on what it is that you have.
Gotcha.
So those of you that are... Who is going to be in attendance for this and who is staying in the inn during all of this?
I mean, I think Mal would tell us what to do if he's just leaving it up to us. I don't think Arvos would particularly attend unless...
It's up to you guys. I'm going to be in attendance, but...
Okay.
Then, I think I'll watch too.
Okay.
From wherever Mal is.
And then,
yeah.
Well, are Arvos and I safe to have swapped spells by this point too?
sure.
So what is it? 40 for second level, 90 for third.
Is there gonna be a large crowd? Do I need to stand on Mal's shoulders to see?
There will be a crowd, but they'll all be in one kind of specific spot. So if you're standing away from that crowd, you will be fine.
Okay.
Are we paying to transfer our spells as well to copy them, or is this?
You always have to pay for the ink, but no, I'm not charging you for my time.
No. I mean,
No, you guys can use the study, and within the study, it will not cost you money.
Oh, okay, nice.
All right. I do have to buy some special ammunition while I'm here, but it's not necessarily magically enchanted. So.
Okay.
Where was the cost for arrows again? It's like 1 gold for 20, right? I think. I thought I had that. Let me look real quick. I just gotta make sure that I got. I mean, I have enough money to do it, but I just want to make sure that I'm taking out the right amount of money.
Mal, how do you want to switch spells? Do you want to just?
I mean, we just take a day and kind of just.
Yeah, but
evening.
Are you gonna give me selection or like what?
Oh, what you wanted? I don't know which ones you want from me, but I have displacement. I think is one you wanted.
Yep. Mirror image.
Mirror images. Yep. I've got. I don't imagine you want any of my list stuff. I have some buffs. I have like bold strength and bear's endurance. I don't know if you want those.
Yeah, the buff spells. Does anyone still need those, or you were saying they're kind of irrelevant with your items now?
They become worse. Like they don't stack.
They become worse. Oh, they don't stack because they okay.
So it's like they're no longer a +4 bonus. They're like a +2, and at some point.
But that's a bonus to strength, right?
Yeah.
A raw doesn't have any bonuses.
Yeah. So there's potentially useful people to throw it on.
Okay, so I'll take. What's your best strength one? Is it bull strength or?
Bull's strength.
Okay, I'll take that as well.
So stuff with like special materials, like most of that would be available like at the, just like.
If it is not magical, if it is mundane, then yes, you can buy
like
it in
silver
town.
And,
yes,
silver and cold iron and stuff like that.
Correct.
Okay.
And Mal wants what? Glitter dust, haste.
Just those two. I don't think there's anything else you have that I would cast ever.
Okay.
Okay. So who all is in attendance? I believe Mal, Aravos, Cassius, Sphinx, and will Rob be there?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what else is going on, go?
Let us shift up the music. And it is a rainy day. Make sure. I think this is the one I want. No, this is not it. The track is Music is important, so I should better prep it.
If you use a mithril buckler, but you're technically wielding a two-handed weapon, do you take the penalties so that it says you have if you are using a weapon in your offhand?
You always take a -1.
Wait,
but it says specifically if you're wielding a... So, mithril buckler says you have a -1 penalty if you're using a weapon in your offhand, but what if you're wielding a two-handed weapon?
You won't get the benefit from the mithril buckler.
Okay.
You need a special feat in order to use a two-handed weapon and use a mithril buckler, and it only applies to, like, spears or whatever else. So you'll just be taking a penalty to attack for no benefit. Is this it? Yes, that is it. All right. You are all standing just outside of the town hall. A very large group of humans, gnomes, and a few dwarfs stands opposed to the massive town hall tower that stands before you. The sparrow has stepped forward and is giving a speech to all in audience. Brothers, sisters, allies, our leadership has failed us. Time and time again, they have made promises that they are going to help make our lives better, that they will work to improve trade, that they will work to improve the quality of life of others that live here. But what have we seen? Dwarves that have achieved greater things than others. Significantly greater. But not all of them. Only the ones that support the tower before us. It is time for that to be brought to an end. We demand the mayor step forward and acknowledge her failures to this town, and that she step down from her position, that she offer it to us to decide who best to run this town. What say you, good mayor? Will you speak or will you hide? And the crowd starts chanting, will you speak or will you hide? Will you speak or will you hide? And it begins to fill the area. The repeated chants of an angry crowd fill the air. A small window at the top of the tower opens, and a projection of the mayor's bust can be seen at the top of the tower. My position is that you are all heretics and fools, being led by a cowardly man who would see nothing more than all of you fail. I have done well to protect this town from the things that have threatened it. Things you do not know of, things you cannot see. If you would all stand against me, I will see you all fall. Guards! Seize those who oppose! And a number of guards step out of the building, spears in hand. The protesters stand in a line, linking arms, and all except one who steps forward. She begins to speak a few words, very strange words in a tongue unlike anything you've ever heard. As she speaks them, a number of body-like shapes start to shimmer in the air around you, some of them even appearing in front of the party. The ghosts that you've seen before, Sphinx, flicker before you. The Sparrow speaks as he turns, looking at the guards who, for a moment, were thinking about moving forward, but now seem to stop in their tracks. You have but one option. Accept that the town is what is important, and not this sham of a mayor. And you will be unharmed. But if you refuse, you will no longer serve this town, your families, or existence itself. Swear your allegiance to the town, or fall. Brave as you may be, to the spirits that claim your mayor is a charlatan. Many of the dwarves lay down their spears, and as they throw down their spears, a few more words are uttered by the woman who stepped forward from the crowd, and the spirits rush towards the tower, tearing apart any left with spears, with little to no effort or regard for their pasts, their presents, or their futures. There is a few moments, and you can hear a loud amount of screaming from within the tower. You can suddenly see the bust of the mayor turn and look. She begins uttering some words, and you can see, like, from behind the bust, a bit of a shimmering image kind of comes into the view of what is happening. And she has weapon in hand that you can see very slightly, not as clearly as if you were watching her, but she fights off many of the spirits. But inevitably, there are too many, and they operate too fast. She turns as the spirits start to overwhelm her, and she leaps from the window behind her, plummeting down, falling to her demise. Dozens of stories to the bottom, landing not but feet from the Sparrow on the steps of her own town hall. This brave soul that fought to keep her wealth and power. Let us remember what she has really done to all of us. She has protected this town from that which is positive, pushed away those who encourage trade, made life generally bad for all of us. And we took action, sparing the lives of others. It is sympathy that we should have for these ignorant people who do not understand the damage she has caused to us. And we should look forward to new leadership, which will bring us into a golden age. A time where Kazarim will grow. It will find allies, it will find trade, it will find progress. And for this, you don't simply have yourselves to thank, but the military. And the Sparrow gestures to the 5 of you that stand in audience, that did not stand in opposition. They understood what this town needed for progress. They stood at our side, not against us. So clearly you can see, even the military knows what's right for us. in time, we should find new leaders, new people to present to the town hall. And we should make swift work of it. It should be a decision balanced by the imbalance that we have here. 3 votes. 1 for each of the races. The dwarves cast 1, the humans cast 1, the gnomes cast 1.
And the half-orcs cast 1.
The half-orcs do not live here.
They do now.
Are you in opposition?
The half-orcs have been living here for quite some time.
The half-orcs live outside of the town. They live with a group in their own camp. They come in and out of here to make trade.
They trade here. That is where they do their business. They should have a vote.
You believe that any person that trades with the town should have a vote in that town?
I believe if an entire culture trades with a town, they have a say in. They should have some say in what happens in the town.
Fine! Then I nominate the man Maldronicus as the candidate of the orcs.
I believe the elves need a candidate as well.
You are a known outsider that does not trade with the town.
Right? Well, I tried.
Oh.
Any other half-orcs to second my nomination? Or to nominate another? Well, I see my nomination stands. Very well. We will leave it to what remains of our organization to define the terms of the election. It is not up to me. It is not up to any of us. There are still others that remain that would see this done properly. And they have sworn their allegiance to the town, and the spirits of our ancestors will see that things are done right. If not, a cleansing will come again. So make the right decisions. Ensure that this vote is fair. Ensure that this vote is right. Otherwise, there will be no song for any of you as you are lowered into your graves. The crowd cheers. Many of the dwarven guards, unsure of what to do, kind of scoop up their spears. A few of them move towards the crowd, just kind of like making sure the crowd isn't going to get too rowdy. A few others rush inside.
Is it pretty unanimous with the crowd cheering?
Yeah, the crowd is in... Like, this is a crowd pretty much cultivated of the people that were interested in this. Many of them did not know that this was going to happen, but seemed to be very satisfied with the outcome.
About how large is this crowd?
Roughly 300 people. So almost half the town itself is in audience.
Okay.
The Sparrow, once he finishes speaking, will make his way over to the 5 of you. Nice standing down, dipshit. And he kind of, like, gives you, like, that half, like, shoulder push as he attempts to move past you.
Past who?
Past Maldronicus.
How strong is this guy?
That's right.
Not very.
Shoulder push? Is it like a
It's like the kind of guy who's like trying to push against like a wall. So you don't really move much from it. If you let him pass, like he'll push by. You can openly like try to give a little authority back, and I can see if he can manage to push past you.
No, I don't think pushing back on people like this is even going to accomplish anything. They probably assume that anything against them is way too much of a slight that it's worth.
for now, the town lacks leadership. There is a sub-council that determines laws, like that kind of proposes laws that will determine how the election will be handled. That is normally how mayors are elected, is the sub-council determines this. However, over the next couple of days, the fear of the spirits returning to claim each of them does bring them to create a more balanced series of laws. Maldronicus, your words are not lost. The members of the council that are in attendance on the day of voting are allowed to participate. You are added to the ballot as one of the potential candidates, though many candidates are on the ballot.
Mm-hmm. Do I recognize any from the Crimson Council?
No, there are none that are brought on from the Crimson Council.
And the friggin' election.
Well, they're not members of the town. And when they set up the rules for the town, like, allowing the Crimson Council to vote is something they're like, okay, fine, whatever. But they're not going to put somebody who is literally an outsider of the town in a position of leadership. It is decided that there will be 2 officials as opposed to 1, so there is a better system of balance in place. And they will divvy up the office of the mayor into this dual position. They agree to leave the board that determines if in the event of a tie between the 2 of them, the board that manifests the law, that produces the laws, will determine the direction following a meeting of the minds of sorts. So, the next few days, the rain continues. There is, however... Whoops, I just want the rain. There's, however, no thunder. No
Is it
lightning.
raining because the earth is crying, or is it just rain? It's
just raining.
Okay.
I was definitely just about to roll a knowledge nature check to see how...
It's as though somebody was probably paying attention to the weather when they were setting up this, or maybe had the ability to tell what the weather was when they were setting this up.
I see.
And chose an extra dramatic day.
Sense mode of the earth.
Yeah.
The earth feels like the earth always does. Whatever's on it will eventually die off, and it will continue to persevere. It can't wait till all of you are officially ruined from it.
Whoa.
Whoa, Earth.
Whoa, Earth.
We'll go global warming on your ass.
That's fine. It won't kill the planet. It will kill the people. That's my favorite part about global warming. Global warming is not about saving the planet. The planet can get to probably, if I'm not mistaken, the planet can achieve like 3,800 degrees before like any core components of the planet start to have any sort of problem. Or it can get down as low as like, 0 Kelvin and continue to survive. But you know what doesn't survive in those conditions? The people.
After all of this information, I'm going to use my detect alignment on the planet.
The planet is as neutral as it gets. It is not concerned for itself, but whatever will be, will be.
I don't trust this planet.
I'm with you, Cassius.
But do you trust the captain of this planet?
Time to go off planet.
Oh, he gave us all these rings, and we can all talk to each other.
John, that's actually very, very sensitive territory, because the last campaign I played was so bad that we went off planet. Don't go off planet. Don't go off planet, dude. Ever.
I can attest that it's fine to go off
Fucking
planet.
So dumb.
You never go off planet.
Like wonky sci-fi
No, you
bullshit.
do. It's in the heat of the moment. It's occasionally okay to go off planet.
Well, the good news is here you can't really go off planet. So,
well, to bring it back if we're ever close to ending, I still have a private conversation I need to have with Ra because I keep forgetting to do that.
Go ahead and have your conversation.
So like one of the nights in downtime, I would just like, I don't know if we have separate rooms or we're all like sleeping.
There are technically separate rooms. You have like one large common area and then separate rooms that each of you sleep in.
Okay. Okay.
And
good.
just a preface to this, I am aware she did detect my alignment that time, right? Like I know she did this, or
yeah, I think she managed the perception.
no, I mean like I'm aware that she did it, right?
Yes.
That she cast.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So one of these nights, I guess, after this thing where we're all just doing our own thing, I'll just knock on her door.
Okay. Nice, good Foley work.
Good evening. I had something I wanted to talk to you about. Can I come in?
I guess.
I cast web on.
Good.
Dick.
Well, you know what's coming next.
So as she closed the door, am I reasonably sure like people can't hear us in here, or like?
I mean, if you're loud, they'll hear you.
Okay, I'm gonna talk. I'm not gonna like talk so people can hear me. It's like I'll talk in like a slight whisper or whatever.
Okay.
I think we're both aware of what you detected that day with the Pegasus.
Oh, are we?
No.
I believe I caught your spell as I was preoccupied.
Yes, that spell.
So I'm proposing that you do not share this information in exchange for, I guess, what is it that you would want to keep this information to yourself? I did notice in that last encounter we were fighting in that your life came close to ending. I can guarantee that I may assist you if that ever happens again. I can guarantee I'll prioritize your life amongst the others.
I know people like you, Aravos. You're not a
I don't think you know anyone like me.
You're not a completely bad person. But let's just say if I can have a more positive effect on you, I will take it. So in return for my silence, I expect you
to die.
To not do anything
Sorry.
outwardly. Or not, what am I trying to get here? To not do anything drastically evil. Like, I know your type. You are the type of person that puts your well-being above everything else. You always come first. And I understand that that will probably never change, but I expect if you are going to be hanging around with us, that the rest of the party's well-being becomes number two to you. I'm not expecting you to outwardly risk your life to save one of us, but if there's something you can do to keep one of us from dying or fleeing, I expect you to try to keep us alive.
I think that is a fair agreement. Is there some sort of thing you humans do to... Oh, wait, you're not human. Is there something you half-orcs do to solidify such agreements? Or is my word enough for you?
I'll just say your word and your actions will be enough.
All right. Can I retcon a little bit here? Can I say I have done something before I went in here?
Okay. What do you want to do?
I just wanted to have casted an arcane mark on my ring of protection.
Okay.
I will hold out my hand and say, how about to prove my words, or more than just words, I let you borrow this for now.
You haven't cursed it, have you?
No. Why would I want to do that?
I don't know. Well, we can take this as our first opportunity to build some trust here.
My thinking exactly.
All
I
right.
have not. This would not serve me in any way.
I will.
So as I'm about to drop it in your hand, I kind of like pull it away, and I say, "You remember, you cannot reveal what you learned that day, right?"
I remember.
All right. And then I'll kind of.
She walks out and shouts, "He's evil!"
Hey, that's my thing.
Yeah, and then I'll walk out and I'll continue my studying and whatever it is I'm doing.
Okay. All right. For the most part, Ra, is there anything else that you want to look into, or are you pretty happy with the turn of events?
I'm happy so far, but I just feel like once things would get settled a little bit, I would check in on seeing what we can do about getting maybe a higher level cleric out here who could help assist me in small things that basically I'm not high enough level to do
well,
kind of
that's going to take quite a while.
Yeah,
new leadership has to be established.
Yeah.
So it probably won't happen in this visit.
Okay.
Because there is no one in town that is of a level high enough that could help you remove this unhallow. So that'll have to kind of be a little sub-quest for you if this is something that you want to accomplish.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something I eventually want to come back and make sure that basically the church here actually gets set up, situated. The town has no hallow or unhallow other than obviously they wanted the town hall to stay unhallowed and I want the church to become hallowed.
Okay. I believe it was the town hall to not become hallowed.
It is preferential if it is unhallowed, but yes.
They said they prefer it to be unhallowed, so I agree to let them keep that area unhallowed if they would allow me the church to be hallowed. The unhallowed was for the spirits.
The unhallowed was to make sure that they're as strong as they are. Yes. But still inherently evil.
I mean, he didn't actually say the spirit. I mean, unhallowed ground, yes, has evilness to it, but he didn't actually, nothing that we learned makes it sound like the spirits are inherently evil. They were solely looking out for the town. That's not necessarily evil.
Yes, my concern was more so that the people that control them are evil, and if they're stronger, then it could be problematic. But that's just me pointing that out.
I mean, we can see what that all ends up yielding when we get there. But for at the very least, minimum, the rest of the city have nothing and the church be hallowed.
Okay.
I guess the only other thing I would do in downtime is since I don't have a lot of other stuff to do, is I'd probably spend some of the time just being out and around in the town and just starting to lay the seeds to building followers of Sashat here, just talking to people openly about just maybe briefing on how I the church here hadn't been not even trying to say anything necessarily bad about how the church was run here, but just talking to people about how my views of Sashat basically differed than how the church seemed to run and function, and just spreading basically Ra's views. And
okay. Hold the phone. Is the old church gone, wiped out? What's happened? It's still there, right?
Nothing has really necessarily changed about the old church.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, it's the way you're talking.
So I'm not doing anything with the church. I'm just
so what you were talking was it was in the past or something.
No, she's talking about how the church is presently evil and how it doesn't represent Sashat.
Right. I just wanted to make sure. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, I'm just trying to talk to common folk and try to let them share with them my representation of Sashat and how I should believe she should be honored, just to kind of lay a foundation to eventually hopefully come back and have people here who are actually interested in, becoming followers the way Sashat should be followed and not in this.
Give me a diplomacy.
Oh, God.
I mean, that's what this is. This is you trying to sell the word of Sashat to the town.
Oh, no. Do I have anything
Fine, I'm going out.
that will make this less terrible?
Oh, man. I always forget that I have a good diplomacy score.
I have a terrible diplomacy
Why aren't you
score.
selling the word of Shishak?
Should have asked me to come help you.
Yeah, I always forget because like I try not to.
Hold on, I have a
I
couple.
have a -3.
Oh, wow.
Oh, thank goodness.
No,
That
this
is so
this
helpful.
cannot
That's
be
what
assisted.
mine-
This is her trying to preach the word of her goddess, and if you don't
Yeah.
if you don't buy into it, like you're not gonna be as good at
But
pushing the
Spirit
truth
Mother
of it.
touches all of the gods because all
there-
of those people that follow the Spirit Mother worship various gods.
Is
They
there
are
an
bound to
inverse
be
of aid another? Is it like disparage another? Kind of word?
Okay, well, at the
trying to
very
undermine her.
I mean, that would be an opposed diplomacy check, right? You're like roaming around the streets yourself, convincing people like Shashat's a little bitch. Thoth is amazing. He gives you money for your knowledge. He gives you power for your knowledge.
drawing little mustaches on the pictures of Shashat.
I'm gonna use my inspired trait on this.
Okay.
Good
What
choice.
does that do?
Good choice.
Just lets me roll twice and take the better of the
advantage.
results.
Go for it. Oh God. I'm looking at your character sheet. That is horrendous because you also have the negative charisma.
It's so bad right now.
I believe.
Oh, please.
You want Mal to help you? I can make donkey noises.
So you are roaming around and
Don't worry, she's got that.
like going around, you feel like almost like people are kind of looking through you. You have a 5 charisma right now. So your impact on the world is very overall negative. Like, you almost don't exist to the people you're talking to. Like, first of all, it's really hard to get anyone's attention, right? You're like going up to people and you're like, do you have time to talk about Sashat? And as if you were dead, people just seem to almost walk right through you.
Well, at
So
least
I know how
tried.
important this shot is too, so I'm gonna try and help you too. Oh, I actually got to I was gonna see if I could get lower.
That's not a good check by any means for what you're trying to do.
I know. I was trying to get negative.
People are actually more annoyed that you're standing in the way at this point. Like, on a 6 or a 7, people don't recognize what's happening. On a 12, it's like, oh, this person's trying to fucking preach shit to me. Oh, leave me alone, dude. I got other things to do. I gotta, like, wax my horse.
Gotta go talk to some ghosts. See you guys later.
Are you actually going to talk to some ghosts?
Can I talk to the ghosts?
Certainly. I believe there was some ghost that you actually said that you wanted to try specifically to find.
Yeah, I need to find the ghost of an old man.
Mm-hmm.
If you find anything out about this unhallowed ground, that'd be good information.
I need
mean,
to
I'm
apologize to him for what
assuming
Arya said.
I would know
Again.
what unhallowed ground is. Make a
Um,
religion roll to see how much I know about it.
It's
I might
actually a knowledge arcana check.
Uh-oh.
Because it's spell related and understanding how
Wait,
spells
wait,
work.
did anyone ask this to me?
Oh,
No.
if you were talking to the spirits, I was going to ask you that. If you could inquire, if the opportunity arises, if you could inquire about why this hallowed ground is so special, or an unhallowed ground is so special.
Yeah.
Can I make a knowledge arcana check?
Sure,
Kind of who's being in it?
certainly.
Wow!
Do you want to use tireless logic to reroll once a day? I like that note.
Yep.
I need to start making notes like that in my things.
When I realized she had it and I realized she kept forgetting, I was like, I'm applying this as a note to this character.
Do you want to use Mystery Initiate once per day?
You know what? I'll do it.
Oh, fuck. Hold on.
The suspense is killing me.
Alright.
I request tireless logic.
Alright, reroll it. Roll it again.
I knew it. Damn it.
Fantastic. Yep.
You had the same thing I had, literally re-roll and get one higher.
Not sure. No results found. Error 16, error 16, error 16.
Fantastic! Great, good thing I wasted that tireless logic.
No, it's once per day.
Oh well, I got Ghost to talk to.
Yep. So
man, it's been like over 10 days. Is his charisma damage still here?
it is still there.
That's vile.
However, Sphinx, you will have healed all of your wisdom damage, and your con will be back to normal.
Ooh. Guessing my charisma.
But I
damage
still
isn't
shouldn't
yours.
talk to people for like 20 years.
Yeah. So you can make your way to that home where things had happened. And I believe when you were here last time, you had discovered that the husband is not there anymore.
I found the wife's ghost, and I think she came with me.
Yes. Give me a diplomacy to interact with the spirits that are around here.
Fantastic.
Didn't expect that to happen, did you?
Amazing.
Wow.
Don't worry, I can talk to ghosts.
All right.
I can't see things, but I can talk to ghosts.
At least you could talk to something.
So you will find out that the spirit of the old man longed for his wife, yearned for his wife. And before he died, he went to the only people he thought of that could make his inevitable death something where he could be better for his wife. He went to the Church of Delanrian in the hopes that they would put him in a vessel where he could better protect his wife from violent people who just come into your home and physically assault you.
Oh my. So we went to the land rid because Arius attacked. Great. Thanks, Arius.
Well, the whole party showed up. Gave this guy a terrible
I was not
time.
in his house. It wasn't the whole party.
Beat him up and then left. And he knew he was an old man and he blamed himself for like his age being the reason that he couldn't protect his wife.
Front amulet that Arius.
Everyone forgets I gave that guy money, by the way.
Money doesn't make things better. Not when you freaking beat up an old man.
That's just almost more traumatizing, right?
I think, didn't I give him like a year's worth of salary? He was like dirt poor and I gave him 3 gold.
That's super traumatizing, though.
I think.
Imagine you're just hanging out. You're hanging out at home. Somebody busts through the door, breaks your leg, and then throws like a couple $1,000 on the ground and is like, "There you go, buddy. Thanks."
He just beat the shit out of him, put 2 bronze coins on his eyes, and he was good.
That is like, I don't know, in some ways that is significantly emotionally and mentally jarring. Like, I have no idea how I would react to that. Was I victimized for their enjoyment, and that's why I'm getting paid?
The looming threat of the possibility of that happening again.
Like, yes, this will help my family, but do I want to be disabled so much I can't, like, function properly for a while? He wants his wife to be safe.
But I thought his wife was dead.
He wants his wife to be safe.
Yeah, no, that happened after he wanted his wife to be safe, and after he got his new vessel, and after he traumatized the shit out of her by being some weird undead creature.
Yep, you're getting it. You're getting it very well.
That sounds like Delamrian. He was like, I want my wife to be safe, so Delamrian gave him a body, and he just showed up.
They gave him the body they gave him his undead body.
Oh, his own undead body?
Yes, because he is a low-level creature, and the best thing you can do with low-level creatures is turn them into zombies or skeletons. So a zombie came shambling back to the house to protect his wife, knocked at the door, scared her to death, and if you are frightened...
She was already dead.
Because of that.
I thought I was talking to her ghost outside while they were beating him up. And she was... I thought I remember specifically...
No, you might be right. Maybe I have.
Yeah,
maybe I had the
is
past
right.
incorrect.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Okay. So I take that back then. That would not have been how that happened. I had it in the wrong order. I thought his wife was away when that had happened. So I fabricated a poor story. Hold on. Let me use my quick troubleshooting to fix this.
Because that was really depressing.
She was also watching him get beat up, and she was like, "Why are they beating him up?"
No, I'm remembering it better now. This is what I get for not going back and watching my own video to affirm the information that I thought I had in mind.
Just remember it so I can make fun of Arya.
So, actually, in this particular case, that would have probably broken his spirit. And in his death, you would realize that he was... So, the information you would have got is that his spirit is wandering. It's going to be difficult to find his spirit, but after some time of speaking with the spirits and kind of following the path that they lead you down, you will still inevitably find yourself at the Temple of Delamrian. And you will find his restless spirit kind of roaming around there, hoping that maybe his wife would come there to join him, to meet him. It's the only place his soul would linger to, the only place where he knows that the dead go, because he knows nothing else. He was not a devout worshiper of any religion. He didn't necessarily find himself to be a man of the gods. So his spirit just kind of roams about there, hoping that perhaps one day his wife will find him. Not knowing that his wife is essentially being carried around with somebody else, that his wife has been following someone else around for some time. And happy in the moment that you arrive at the temple, to be once more rejoined with his wife. And in that, I am going to need you to remove 2 spirits, or 1 spirit from your list of spirits, as you watch them manifest themselves into raw arcane energy.
That is fine by me. I'm trying to remember where my fucking spirit... Oh, they're there. I'm going... Oh no, only 51 souls now.
As they do so, for a moment, you feel the energy kind of, like, fall from the point at which the 2 spirits finally rejoin each other. And you relive a few moments of their life in your mind. You can see their happy moments, their sad moments. You can watch the man watch as his wife becomes ill and gradually dies before him. You can see the moment that Aravos beat him up.
Arius.
You can see the moments where he himself begins to die. You can feel his wife's spirits worry as she watches on, as he lingers there. You can see as someone eventually comes to take his body, bring it to somewhere else, but she seems trapped. She tries to follow the body along, but the house is kind of like her tomb. She cannot leave where it is. It's anchored there. Her home, her resting place. However, he is carried off. His spirit becomes lost in the town, confused, scared. Fear does weird things to spirits if they die in fear, and especially if they die in fear and loneliness. It makes the world a very gray and empty place. The only thing left are the beacons that they can see, the beacons of the gods. And the beacon of Delamrian to the dead is very strong and very clear. You can see his existence as he wanders towards what is the only thing that he can see. You can feel the longing he has as he waits there for her. And you can feel the joy in the both of them as they once again get to meet for that last time, and their consciousness becomes part of the world itself, and now a part of you. During this downtime, Mal, you finish up the barding for the horses. You get progress on your work towards the equipment for Pierre. In the final 2 weeks, what does Aravos finish?
I think he's done what he's wanted to do. I think he'd want to make some light chitter chatter with Pierre.
Okay.
I kind of pissed him off last time. So I would just say like, "Oh, Pierre, no hard feelings about earlier, right?"
I don't know. I'm always very lost as I travel with all of you. I want things to be pleasant and fun, but you strike me as a bad person. The kind of person that makes a man do things he doesn't want to do. The kind of person who doesn't care what happens to that person, just so long as they get what they're after. Doesn't matter the effect it has on his family, on his friends, on his life. You leave that man cold and alone one day because you yourself can't control yourself, can't take care of yourself without your power, without your money. Sitting in the rain with nothing but the horses to keep him company.
Sounds like a lot of projection, Pierre. Don't you worry, I don't plan on abandoning anyone. All of you are very helpful to further my own goals as well. I don't plan on leaving you out in the cold, as you put it. But I won't lie to you either. Of course, I'm looking out for number one, as should you.
I look out for myself and those who look out for me. It's important. Family can be found anywhere. Anywhere you look. You don't understand them, but you should.
Family. Not something I'm keen on having.
How sad.
You've
Family is
clearly
one of
never-
the good parts of life.
Clearly never met my family.
I am sorry to hear that your family has betrayed you somehow.
There's nothing to be sorry. I've gotten what I wanted. I'm training under the great Heracles. I'm learning the mightiest of spells. I'm living the best life.
I hope your spells bring you the closure that you seek.
Good chat, Pierre. I'm gonna walk away slightly a little depressed maybe, but
He handled your animal.
I web it.
Wait, that sounds much
Yeah,
worse
that was a little
than...
weird. Let's make it
I
happen.
meant that as in, like, your subconscious is like an animal.
Yeah, I know.
I ship.
Not that he's particularly adept at dealing
Not
with
ship
serpents.
that.
Yeah, I don't think Armos has anything mechanically left to do.
Okay. So yeah.
My final things for Sphinx, I'm just going to put them in the chat.
Okay.
I do have one question.
Mm-hmm.
If I were to make an item that helps with like handle animal, what would I like? What would make the most sense to put it on?
That would probably end up being I've been debating this for a while. It would probably be the reins. The reins would probably be like the most likely thing that you would give that would function as a good handle animal benefit.
Actually, I lied. In my rest of my downtime, I'm going to make some scrolls.
Okay.
Not like an absurd number, maybe like 3 or 4.
Sure. So Mal is also wanting a Ring of Protection 1, a Ring of Natural Armor 1, and you can just pay for it, and that should be done.
And you can keep the whatever so 2.25.
What is the skill bonus you want to add to the new reins for Pierre? You could also choose to put it on gloves if you want it to function for more than just the horses.
What did you say?
You can also put it on gloves if you want it to function for more than just the horses. If you put it in the reins, it means that anybody who takes the reins will get the handle animal bonus. If you put it on the gloves, it means that you have to put gloves on before you get the handle animal bonus.
I want to make him gloves. Something specific.
Okay. So for that, it is bonus squared times 100. So what level of bonus would you like to add? Remember, you'll pay half of whatever you determine.
Bonus squared times 100.
Mm-hmm. So 4 would be 16 times 100, which would be 1,600. 3 would be 9 times 100, which would be 900. 5 would be 25 times 100, so 2,500.
And is that the normal cost for it?
Yes.
I have enough money to do a +5, right?
Yeah. Because it would be 12. It would be 25. It would be 1250 minus 125. So 1125.
Okay, so the 10% reduction.
It applies to the cost, but not to the time it takes to do the spell.
Okay.
Because the materials are still more readily available, and there is more magic to pull from. Okay, so deduct the 1125 from your character sheet. That will also cause Pierre to level.
Nice.
And Pierre will not be leveling up in a NPC class level.
But before you do that thing I told you to do, Michelle, you have to do it on a ley line. I was telling her to harness the raw energy, the arcane energy, and just start putting it into items.
No.
No?
No.
Why? There's already people in your world that do that?
You already know that.
Yeah, I know.
So, let's talk about XP for this session.
Oh, I did have one question, actually, before we were done here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, two. There is a Temple of Sashat currently here, correct?
Technically, they call themselves a Temple of Sashat.
And has the ground been
Nothing will have changed by the time that you leave, except the new leadership will be elected by about the time that you are leaving town.
Drats. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, for us to do anything about the vile damage, we pretty much have to go somewhere else.
Shell, you can add 225 gold too. Like I said, I paid the full amount anyway. So.
Yeah, I was just hoping that if the ground was unhallowed, that maybe I could have access to that library. But that's fine. I didn't know if that was preventing it or not.
So I need to decide how Pierre will level. That'll be interesting.
Summoner.
Must love dogs.
Oh, perfect.
All right, so XP. This was a crafting and great benefit to the party session. So there's not going to be as much, but you guys did still accomplish some things. So everybody take 1,000 XP plus 300 for roleplay, plus another 200 for recap. So a total of 1,500.
Okay.
1,500 you said, Sue? Sorry.
Yep, 1,500.
Man, I could almost afford those bullets too. It would just cost me literally everything I have. And probably not be that beneficial comparatively.
Well, you can figure that out in the meantime.
Yeah.
Can I roll for HP?
Did you level?
Yeah, just barely.
All right. Go for it.
Yay.
Well done. All right. Well, good night, everybody. Thanks so much. Good session.